southern colonies from 1776 to 1777 used a snake flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended a design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white, with an azure field in the upper corner, bearing the red cross of St. George, the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, the senior lieutenant of the flagship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3rd, 1775. And 1 month later, it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts, in compliment, as he wrote, to the United Colonies. This flag, called the Continental Colors and the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by the Continental Land Forces, but it was used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign, and was the first American flag to receive a salute of honor, a salute of 11 guns, from the Fort of Orange in the Dutch West Indies. In response to a general demand for a banner more representative of our country, the Congress on June 14, 1777 provided, quote, that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white on a blue field, representing a new constellation. It is generally believed that in May or June of 1776, a committee consisting of George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross commissioned Betsy Ross, a Philadelphia Quakeress, to make a flag from a rough design that they left with her. It is said that she suggested the star should have 5 points rather than 6. The starry banner was first flown at Fort Stanwix, called Fort Schuyler at the time, near the city of Rome, New York, on August 3rd, 1777, and was under fire 3 days later at the Battle of Oriskany, August 6, 1777, during a British and Indian attack. The first official salute to the Stars and Stripes was given February 14, 1778, by France on the French coast, when the Ranger, under the command of John Paul Jones, was saluted by the French fleet. This flag, then carried by the Ranger, was made by the young women of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, from stripes of their best colored silk dresses and the white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said that this same Ranger's flag was flown by Jones' ship, the Bonhomme Richard, in its thrilling fight by moonlight upon the high seas with the British frigate Serapis. When the Serapis struck her colors, the immortal fame of John Paul Jones was ensured as the intrepid defender of this youthful republic. The original 13 Stars and Stripes represented the original 13 colonies. In 1795, 2 additional Stars and Stripes were added to represent admission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Under this banner of 15 Stars and Stripes was fought the War of 1812. It was the site of it flying over Fort McHenry on September 14, 1814, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what was to become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Miss Margaret Young, who cut the stars for that particular banner, was the mother of Henry Sanderson, the grand exalted ruler of the Order of Elks, in 1884. The Congress, on April 14th, 1818, adopted a resolution that on and after July 4th, 1818, the number of stripes should be 13, and that the blue field should carry one star for each of the 20 states of the Union, that a new star should be added for each state thereafter admits. Since 1818, there have been no change in the flag except that 28 new stars were added before July 4th, 1912. And this flag of 48 stars flew over this nation for 47 years until just before the Vietnam. On July 4, 1959, a star was added for Alaska, our first non-connected state, and a year later, Hawaii, our island state, added a 50 star. Our present flag, 50 stars and 13 stripes, it is accompanied by the POW-MIA flag to recognize the plight and demise of a special group of armed services, those who were prisoners of war or still remain missing in action.
Please stand as we salute our flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Our flag had once a history, a declaration, and a prophecy. It represents the American nation as it was at its birth. It speaks for what it is today, and it holds the opportunity for the future to add other stars to the glorious constellation. The Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks is the first and only fraternal body to require formal observance of Flag Day. In July of 1908, the Grand Lodge of this order at Dallas, Texas, then assembled, provided for an annual nationwide observance of Flag Day on the 14th of June each year by making it mandatory upon each subordinate lodge of the order. This unique distinction, as the strongest promoter of Flag Day, is the most becoming to the Order of Elks. This order is distinctively American. Only American citizens are eligible to join it, and it has no foreign affiliations. It has linked its destiny with the destiny of our country, and made this flag its symbol of self-dedication to God, to country, and to fellow man. Please stand as we sing God Bless America. Reggie, will you start us?
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you. You may be seated.
The Stars and Stripes flag of the United States of America, the worldwide hope of those of all who under God would be free to live and do his will. Upon its folds is written the history of America, the epic of the mightiest and noblest in all history. In the days when people of old groveled in abject homage to the heresy of the divine right of kings, a new constellation appeared in the western skies, the stars and stripes, symbolizing the divine right of all to life, liberty, happiness, and peace under endowment of their Creator. To what man or woman is given words adequate to tell the story of the building of this nation? That immortal story is written in blood and sweat, in heroic deeds and unremitting toil, in clearing the primeval forests and in planting of vast prairies, where once the coyote and the buffalo roamed. Onward swept the nation, spanning wide rivers, leaping vast mountain ranges, leaving in its path villages and farms, factories and cities, till at last this giant nation stood astride the continent, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the heritage of the people of the United States. It has been repurchased by each succeeding generation and must be rewon again and again until the end of time. Until the end of time. Lest it too shall pass, like the ancient empires of Greece and Rome. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. What was won at Lexington and Concord and Bunker Hill had to be repurchased at Ticonderoga and Yorktown. What John Paul Jones achieved on the high seas in the War of Independence had to be repurchased by Commodore Perry on Lake Erie in the War of 1812. The prestige of Admiral Dewey's victory at Manila Bay in 1898 was rewon by the naval battles in the seas about the far distant islands of the Pacific. After sneak attacks upon Pearl Harbor and Manila in 1941 had summoned our country to assume its role in World War II. What our troops achieved under the Stars and Stripes at Château-Thierry and Flanders in World War I, their sons were required to repurchase in World War II in the bloody trek across northern Africa, on the beachheads of Europe, and in the Battle of the Bulge. The flag our American men raised at Iwo Jima was the same flag later raised in defense of Incheon, Busan, and Pork Chop Hill in far-off Korea. Then, another generation, under the same flag, bled to stem the threat of communism in far-off Vietnam. Our young people were once again called to carry our flag in defense of a free world in the actions of Grenada and Panama. Willingly, our brave men and women carried our flag and the honor of the American people into battle in Operation Desert Storm. And who among us will ever forget the sight of firefighters raising our flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center? The military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, or the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site where brave Americans died, fighting the hijackers of flight number 93. No other symbol could have offered such comfort as we still today endure the horrors of that day. Today, American armed forces carry our flag to the villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, and the jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorism may reside. Their struggle against the sponsors of terrorism is the hardest battle yet. And this threat to our nation and our way of life is certainly as great a challenge as our flag has ever seen. The resurgence of patriotism since September 11, 2001 has rekindled respect for our flag. Today, we see the Star-Spangled Banner wherever we turn, on homes, in businesses, automobiles, and billboards. Such displays stimulate our love for our nation and for what it stands. They remind us of the sacrifices being made by the men and women of our armed forces and around the world, and they are a tribute to the heroes of the police and fire departments the nation owns. The greatest significance of this flag, however, lies in the influence it has in the hearts and minds of millions of people. It has waved under the unparalleled progress of a nation in developing democratic institutions, scientific and technological knowledge, education and culture. It has served as a beacon for millions of poor and oppressed refugees abroad, and it stands as a promise that the underprivileged will not be forgotten. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definite answer to that question, or a definitive answer to that question. There are people in the world who see it as a symbol of imperialism. Others see it as a destiny of the people. But the reference to these and other similar views of the flag was resolved by Woodrow Wilson when he said, quote, "This flag, which we honor and under which we serve, is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thought, and shape of this nation. There's no other character than that which we give it. From generation to generation, choices are ours. Only love, true love for our fellow man, and of our fellow man, can create peace. The emblem and token of that love is the Stars and Stripes, the symbol of the American way of life. Our fathers, God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King."
Thank you. Lodge Esquire, how shall we further honor our flag?
The flag is formally honored by the Pledge of Allegiance. This pledge was written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy and published in the Youth's Companion as part of a patriotic campaign of that magazine. The pledge did not become part of the flag code until 1942. And in 1954, the phrase "under God" was added.
So that we can remember, once again, please all rise and let us pledge ourselves never to forget the principles represented by this flag with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. In conclusion of this observance of Flag Day, let us rededicate ourselves to the flag of the United States of America, and may the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity ever increase in each of us. I now declare this ceremony closed, and I would like to thank you, each and every one, for participating, for our Boy Scout Troop 362, for all of the officers, everyone here with the Scouts, all of those in attendance. Thank you so much from Elks Lodge 1676. We truly appreciate you, and we truly thank you for being here today. Have a safe rest of the weekend. You are dismissed.
Yeah, actually. Hey, guys, let's take some pictures real quick.